Okay. All right, so we're going to do start another little still life, and this is going to be, again, it's going to be the apples. It's going to be a red and green composition. I just took a piece of primed canvas with gesso, and I just taped it to a piece of masonite. And I'm just going to, we're actually going to do a little slightly different approach. I'm just going to roughly sketch in some of the shapes. So I essentially set up the apple shapes, and then we're going to go right in and actually put the color in. All right. Okay, and I'm going to sort of indicate the cloth and back. All right. Now, what's different on this one is that we're not going to do a really detailed underpainting. I'm going to go right in and hit this with Grumbacher red right off the bat. I'm going to use a little Mega Neoglyph, a little more back out.
And the reason why we're doing this in the red to start with is to keep it bright, is that correct?
I don't want to dull anything down. I took a really clean brush, which is of course semi-alive because I actually cleaned the brush. But
did you say Grumbacher is the equivalent of cadmium red?
it's basically pure red.
Is that the same as cadmium red?
It's not cadmium red light. It's cadmium red, but not cadmium red
Medium?
light. Yeah, it's probably the same thing.
Okay.
It's a naphthol red, basically. It's a synthetic red. All right, I'm going to go in, and I'm immediately going to hit the. I'm putting pure red in right out of the tube. And again, it's because I don't want to dull this thing down. So I'm going to hit the bright red right off the bat.
Notice you're actually indicating some detail on that apple in the back already.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I mean, we'll build it up gradually. I'm actually, I got what's known as I had what was known here as a kiss where these two were touching, and I didn't want that, so I actually moved this one back. I just want to get, I really want to get this really bright red in there right off the bat. And then I'll knock it down later on, but, okay.
Is it okay if you do the drawing with pencil
Sure.
alone?
Yeah.
Because I've done it already.
Okay. So.
I could go over it with it.
Nice.
So you see, okay. Now I'm going to take a little cadmium red light, which is an oranger red, and I'm going to punch it up even more. I'm going to put this orangey red in a few places. All right. So again, you see what's going on here. Now I'm going to take. I can clean this brush, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to, because I want to just start establishing the background, I'm going to mix it with some burnt sienna. I'm not even going to clean the brush because I want some of the worm in there. And I'm going to actually start, I'm not going to complete this, but I just want to start blocking this in because I do want to get some of the background in just to punch the apples out. I'll probably mix in a little phthalo blue to darken it. And again, it's just to get some of these forms in initially. And again, I'm not going to complete this for you. I'm just going to start it.
What's that color?
That's burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, or burnt umber and ultramarine blue. And I didn't even clean my brush. I just left the red in there because I actually wanted to actually see some of this on the apples. I'm going to put some of it in right now on the dark side. The light's coming from the left, by the way. So I'm actually going to establish some of the shapes a little bit more. Put that right in right off the bat. Okay. I'm going to fill this in later on, but you guys got the idea. So now I'm actually going to clean the brush. And I'm going to hit the greens right off the bat. And I actually should use a clean brush for this. I'm actually just cleaning this brush. I'm going to try and clean it. I mean, I should use a clean brush for the reds and greens to get them as bright as possible. Let me do that. Let me pull out a clean brush here. Now, I'm gonna mix phthalo yellow green. You can either buy it or you can mix it. I'm gonna use phthalo blue, a little phthalo blue, some lemon yellow, put some medium in there, and I basically get a phthalo yellow green. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit that right off the bat. Again, I'm actually gonna put it in some more medium. Okay. I'm gonna hit the green again. I'm not mixing it with the red yet. I'm just putting it in areas that I think it should go. I'm gonna mix it. Eventually, I will mix it in with the red. Right now, I just want to get some of it in there. Yeah, I'm trying to get it as bright as possible. Okay. Now I'm actually going to start mixing some of it with the red to dull the red down and dull the green down. I'll just overlap it. I'm going to go back in and refine this layer. I'm going to go back in and mix these colors in the next session a little bit more. The only other thing I'm going to do now is I want to establish some of the cast shadows, and I'm going to use, my cloth is going to be a yellow, white, so the cast shadow here is a purple, and I'm going to put it in right now, nice and bright. I'll dull it down later. There's a cast shadow back here, and there's a cast shadow here.
What's the purple?
It's the cast shadow. The reason I'm using purple, it's the complement to the tablecloth, which is essentially a yellow-white.
Which purple?
It's dioxine purple. You can mix ultramarine, blue, and Grumbacher red. I'm actually going to put some of this purple in the background too, just to basically punch this up a little bit more. And again, I'm going to go back and refine this later on. Okay, so this is almost what's known as an alla-prima painting. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, I want to go in and I'm going to start establishing the tablecloth. I'm going to need more white, so we take more of the purple or white, squeeze that out. A little medium. I'm going to add a little cadmium yellow medium. And again, I'm just going to sort of start establishing the cloth. Again, I'm not going to fill the whole thing in for you. I'm just going to do part of it. I'll fill it in during, while you guys are working on it. But again, you get the idea. And I'm actually putting this stuff on pretty thick. I'm working with a band in here, guys, so I'm going to actually start dulling down some of these cast shadows a little bit. And I'm actually going to clean my brush, putting some of this blue-white where I think the highlight's going to be. Okay. Okay, let me hit the white a little bit thicker. I just want to establish an edge here, and establish an edge here, a little bit thicker white, and the side of the apple. So I'm working wet into wet. Okay, so you guys got the idea. I can go back in and punch up my reds a little more if I want, particularly near the edge that's the turning edge of the apple. I can punch that up a little bit more, a little bit darker. Sort of clean things up just a bit. See, now I'm actually dulling some of the reds down where they're turning into shadow or there's a bright highlight on them. A little more white.
Are you keeping the red like the brightest where the light would be hitting it, or?
Yep, I am. That's what's known as local color. Clean my brush, cover things up a little bit. I'm going to go back and reestablish this shortly. Okay, cut it, Nick.